Ranking NBA teams based solely off of their best player. I feel like number 30 is pretty obvious. It's going to be the Washington Wizards, whose best player is Jordan Poole. I feel like if you lock somebody in a room and force them to watch the Wizards play basketball, it has to be some form of torture. I actually really hope that the Wizards get Cooper Flagg just so they don't have to watch this abysmal basketball anymore. Number 29 is going to be the Portland Trailblazers with Anthony Simons. I feel like you already know if Anthony Simons is the best player on your team's probably cooked. And for Portland fans specifically, it has to suck to go from Damian Lillard the last 10 years to watching this current Trailblazers team. I hope it gets better. At number 28, I got the Brooklyn Nets with D'Lo. As an Ohio State fan and a Lakers fan, I fully understand how up and down it can be to watch this man play basketball. You're either about to watch something that feels like he's the next coming to James Harden, or you're going to watch something that makes you wish they would just get him out of the game. Either way, I can't even lie. I'm going to be a D'Lo fan for life. 27 is going to be the Utah Jazz with Lauri Markkanen. I can't explain it because if I told you that there was a 7-foot guy who's also 240 pounds, could shoot the three, score from just about anywhere on the court, you would swear that this guy was somebody who's going to take that next jump and become perennial all-star. And for whatever reason, even though I keep thinking Lauri's going to make that jump, he just hasn't. He just kind of is who he is at this point. At 26, I got the Chicago Bulls and a big man Vucevic. Now, personally, I still like Vucevic. I love a big man, pause, who likes to play down in the post and get buckets. But at this point, I honestly just feel like Brody is just too old. Pelicans go at 25 because I couldn't decide whether I wanted to use Zion or not because of all the games he missed. So I ended up going with Trey Murphy as their best player. And as much as I like Trey Murphy, I just feel like there's a lot of players right now that are still better than him. But I do think that eventually he'll move up this list. At 24, I got the Raptors with RJ Barrett. And I know some people would probably argue that Scottie Barnes is the best player on the Raptors. But the thing is, I don't like watching Scottie Barnes play basketball. And this is my list. Either way, they're still probably going in the same spot anyway, honestly. At 23, I got the Miami Heat with Tyler Hero. And I know this is a little biased, but for whatever reason, I just can't bring myself to believe in Tyler Hero as the leader of a team. Like, I know he's been doing it this year, and I know they've been doing good, but I'm just not fully sold on Tyler Hero yet. So I got them at 23. At 22, I got the Pacers with the most confusing player in the NBA, Tyrese Halliburton. This man's averages look great, but the thing about him is when you watch the games, he's so up and down. He's either about to have a crazy night and go absolutely off, or he's going to do absolutely nothing. I don't understand him as a player. He's like a super version of what D'Lo is. 21 is the Houston Rockets with Alperen Sengun. I don't care that he's not the person taking the most shots every night. The thing is, I feel like he is the best player on the team. I got him over Jalen Green as far as importance to this team. I just feel like he matters so much more. I honestly think that if Sengun wasn't on this team, Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks and everybody wouldn't be as effective as they are. But at the end of the day, his nickname is Baby Joker, even though personally I feel like he plays more like Sabonis, but that's besides the point. Because of that alone, I had to put him lower on the list. So at number 20, I went with the Philadelphia 76ers and their best player being Tyrese Maxey. This was a tough decision because obviously, like, you want to go with Joel Embiid, who is their best player. But Joel ain't played all season. So, like, I had to pick somebody, and it wasn't going to be PG. So, Tyrese Maxey's their best player, and he's going at number 20. At number 19, I got Domantas Sabonis. I'm actually a big Sabonis guy. I love his game. But the thing is, I just feel like Sabonis is really a guy who needs somebody else. I don't think he's like a lot of the other guys I put ahead of him, where he can carry and put the whole weight of a team onto himself. I feel like he needs an extra piece to really help him out, and he's at his best when he's a number 2. At 18, I got Cade Cunningham, and quite frankly, y'all lucky I didn't put him higher on this list. I am a huge Cade Cunningham fan. I think that Cade Cunningham is going to be the future of this league and will be top 3 within the next 3 years. Is that my fandom being biased? Maybe, but guess what? I don't care. At number 17, I got LaMelo Ball. This man is one of the most exciting players in the league, and because I had to put the Hornets at 17, bro just out there playing like he's playing a game of 2K in real life. It doesn't make sense. I think there's another level he could take it to and really start winning games before I could put him and the Hornets higher, but for right now, 17 feels like a pretty safe spot. At 16, I got the Grizzlies with Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, some people who aren't as knowledgeable will probably try and argue that Ja is the best player, but this season, I think by far, it has been Triple J. This man has already won a Defensive Player of the Year, probably going to win another one at some point in his future, and now he's starting to get buckets offensively. Honestly, I might have put Jaren Jackson too low, but for right now, this is where he's going at number 16. At 15, I went with the Orlando Magic, and their best player is Paolo Banchero. This man is so fun to watch it if you haven't watched him before. He plays like Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James' body. It doesn't really make sense. At 14, I got the Phoenix Suns. He might be 50,000 years old, but Kevin Durant still got it. I think that he's the best player on the Suns. You could argue Devin Booker, and maybe I'm biased for going with KD, but the thing is, how do the Suns suck? Like, it doesn't even make sense. You got Booker and KD. You would think, even if you got to score 100 a night, that if any team could score 150 a night and win, it would be this team with as loaded as they are offensively. 13 is the Clippers with James Harden. I don't know what Ty Lue did to James Harden, but he's got this man hooping like it's 2015 again. That might be an exaggeration. But either way, James is absolutely hooping. You would look at this roster and probably assume Kawhi is the best player, but Kawhi hasn't played in like 5 seasons, so I'm giving it to James all day. At number 12, I got the New York Knicks with Jalen Brunson. Now, I thought about going with Karl Anthony Towns, but let's be honest. New York is Brunson's team, so it has to be him. And as much as I like Brunson, I'm really not as high on him. I feel like some people probably have him somewhere in the top 10. I think he's just outside, but there's nothing wrong with that. Brunson's a bucket getter. Now, is it crazy that I have the Hawks at 11 with Trae Young? Maybe, but here's the thing. I couldn't put Brunson over Young because every time Young plays the Knicks, he just fries them. He cooks them. Hibachi. So off of that alone, I had to go with Trae Young at 11. At 10, I went with Donovan Mitchell in the Cleveland Cavaliers. I really struggled to decide who their best player was. This is a team that just gets it done, just so balanced in my opinion. But Donovan Mitchell is my favorite player on the team, so I went with him as their best. I wouldn't be mad if you chose somebody else. I think either way, this team is number 10. At number 9, I had to go with the Dallas Mavericks, and their best player is Anthony Davis. Davis has gotten a lot of disrespect because he was part of that Luka trade. And yes, the Lakers won the trade, but we can't act like Anthony Davis isn't a top 10 player in the NBA. That's just crazy work. He's by far the best big in the NBA at guarding the perimeter. And it's a shame he doesn't have a deploy, but that's a whole nother conversation. It's still up in the air whether or not he's going to come back from that injury, seeing as how the whole team's hurt and they really don't have a chance of competing this year. But either way, AD and the Mavericks at 9. At number 8, I got the Golden State Warriors, and Steph Curry is their best player. The thing about Curry is that when you're a shooter like him, it doesn't matter how old you are. At any point, he can just get the job done, and there's nothing anybody can do to guard him. I don't know. Like, it's Curry, bro. It's Curry. Number 7 is going to be the Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards. It's a shame that they did this, man. They did when building this roster, because Ant should be trying to push for a finals run. This man is so gifted, and for whatever reason, his GMs just want to make his job so much harder. They do not want to help their best player, and quite frankly, I don't understand it. At number 6, I went with Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. Victor is just so talented, and it's crazy to think he's in his 2nd year and was well into the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. Him and De'Aaron Fox, it would have been so exciting to see what they could do together. Hopefully he recovers healthily, and next year we can see them absolutely ball out. Number 5, I got SGA. I know some people would probably put him higher, but quite frankly, I would put him lower. I'm not really an SGA fan. I'm more of an SGA hater. So I was able to put my biases aside and admit the fact that bro is a top 5 player, and because of that, the Thunder ranked number 5. Number 4 is going to go to the Lakers with Luka Doncic. I know that some people will definitely argue that LeBron's the best player on the team, but 40-year-old LeBron is not better than Luka, bro. The best player on the Lakers is Luka, and Luka's the 4th best player in the league. It is what it is. At number 3, I got the Boston Celtics and Jason Tatum. I know it's super fun to hate on Tatum right now, and he's probably the most overly hated player in the NBA, but the reality of the situation is, bro's an NBA champion. He's a high-level player. People just don't like him. Either way, I got Tatum at 3. At number 2, I got Giannis. I feel like Giannis is having an extremely underrated season. I don't know why he's not higher in the MVP talks. I know that Jokic and SGA are going absolutely crazy, but so is Giannis, bro. At least throw him in the conversation. It's not like I expect the man to win it, but regardless of that, the Bucks are finals contenders as long as they got Giannis. This man runs the paint. Because of that, I got Giannis at 2. And of course, at number 1 is the Nuggets. They have the modern day Wilt Chamberlain if you took away all his athleticism and he just somehow makes every other shot. I don't understand Jokic as a basketball player. He just looks slower than everybody else, but his game IQ is just on 1,000, and I guess that's just how he gets his buckets. I don't know. If NBA teams was based solely off their best player, the Nuggets would win the championship every year because there's nothing anybody can do with this man. Anyways, those are just my rankings. Let me know how you would rank these teams at and down in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.